Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to another VanChat
VanChat
Tuesday. And this one we've got some questions.
Yes, thank you very much for asking your questions. I've actually got more questions than we need, but keep them coming because it's nice. And we'll just chuck in some ones of us chatting every now and again and keep some questions going.
So, the top of mostly everybody's list this week was this question. Mandy, what's the best item you have in the kitchen, as I love to cook and would welcome your input?
We have slightly different answers to that one. John says, me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I just love my frying pan. I think a decent frying pan, a decent frying pan is what you need, especially in a van. Oh, there's Coop. Sorry. Because it is so versatile. I can chuck it under the grill because it's got a metal handle. It's nice and deep, so I can cook all sorts of things in it. I do use it as normal frying pan things. I can use it as a mini oven if I keep the light low enough on there. It is just really, really versatile to use for everything. I mean, I've said before that one of my favourite things is a Ridge Monkey, but that's because this frying pan used to stay in the house.
Yeah.
We never used to bring it with us. Obviously now it's not. I made a little case for it for when we moved into the van, and it does replace the Ridge Monkey easily as the best thing in the kitchen.
And next question. How do we deal with cooking smells in the van?
Yes.
We have the little fans that we use through the roof vents, and we open windows, really.
Yep, we have this one we have on sucking out because it's close enough to the kitchen to be able to make a massive difference, to get the air out of the way, get the smells out. I normally crack the window, which is right behind the hob. Depends how windy it is to be able to use that, because the wind can blow in underneath the guard that comes up and blow the gas flame out. So that's a nice little design feature. But mostly we don't cook smelly things.
No.
Inside the van. We'll try and either do it outside of the van if we've got anything. Or
I mean, say the worst thing is if you're doing a one-pan meal and there's sausages or bacon that you're frying off. You know, like the little bits of it, whatever it's called. What are they called?
Pancetta.
Yeah, like pancetta. Yeah. There you go. In which you do get a bit of a smell from that one.
Yeah.
And a bit of smoke, if you like.
Yeah.
But with the fan on, you just see it being sucked straight outside. So.
Yeah. I mean, even when I did the curry. I mean, I just made sure I washed the pots up straight away and then cleaned everything down. I use a little mix in a spray bottle that's got E-cover, a couple of drops of E-cover washing up liquid in it, water and white vinegar.
Yeah,
and
that's the best thing. Really,
take that, and that gets rid of every smell. So if there's anything lingering on any surfaces, I clean with that. I find the E-cover washing up liquid is really good at getting smells off your utensils and everything like that. And yeah, so just good ventilation.
What's the other one as well that you've got?
My vodka one.
No, the Febreze.
Oh, my Febreze, yeah.
Mandy's version of Febreze. Anyway.
Yeah, it's E-cover softener and water, 50-50 in a spray bottle. So if you do find that there is anything, I've got my big mat, my bar mat that I roll out the back. I give that a spray with my little softener mix, and it just tends to get rid of any smells and gives off like a nice clean laundry smell. Yeah, I like that.
Next question is, do you need a freezer if you live in a van? I would say no, you don't need one, but it is good at balancing like food, sort of like, you know, if you can't go to the shops every day, or if you go to the shops once every week or two, it does help in that you can get some things that you can throw in a freezer, even if it's just frozen pizza or stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I don't think you need one.
See, I kind of think that it's, if you've got a choice there and then, do you choose, because someone asked me this question, do they choose to have a fridge with a bigger fridge compartment and no freezer, or with a freezer compartment? And I said, this is what I use mine for. We've got ice creams in there, we have ice, we have normally things like potato wedges and potato cakes, because we love potato cakes, so we'll buy loads and just put them in the freezer. The Naked Glory burgers that we like. At the minute we've probably got 4 meals just waiting in the freezer, you know, packet of fish fingers and stuff like that, that we wouldn't have in the cupboards or in the fridge. And I just like it for that. And of course, when you go somewhere where there's warm, you can use ice.
Yeah.
Ice is the biggest thing.
Yeah, ice is a good one to have. But so would you say, though, that definitively, do you need it for van life?
I think it's different for each person, though. I think I need it. Okay. I need a freezer. And from what I've seen, everybody else has a freezer and utilises it like mad. To use one of Daz's examples, Daz will go and he gets a load of meat on special, and then he splits it all up into individual portions, bags it up and puts it in the freezer. So his freezer is full. But that means that because he works silly hours, he doesn't have to keep going to the shop to get things out. The worst thing he's got to do is just grab a packet of meat, and then it's stuff. So for being able to, like John said, stay away from supermarkets for a long amount of time, which in this situation at the moment, I think the
it's a good one,
supermarket visits, the better. Then I'd say it's a good call if you can.
Right then, next question is, have you had something happen that has questioned your decision to live in the van? I mean, if anything was going to do it, it'd be COVID.
Yeah.
We've never had anything. We've had the odd moment of nasty people, confrontations with nasty people and stuff like that. But we've not had an element of what I would consider to be a threat against us, like a violent threat, or certainly no one's got any physical kind of contact with us or the van so far.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen on Instagram today that there's been a couple of people that have been broken into. And I just love, I've sent messages and stuff, love the fact that they are just, right, this has happened, this is what's gone on, I'm cracking on, and I'm moving on. And you just have to, you made the choice, so you kind of have to roll with it if it happens. But we've never touch wood so far, and there are things obviously you can do to step away from that. As one examples of what you were saying today was because it was in a really big city centre, and I avoid them for that reason, to be honest with you, because we wouldn't want to leave the van.
No, so I try as much as possible to plan where we park and routes and things like that to avoid places like that. But so far nothing that's any different than living in a house, really. So
so we have been very lucky and hope it stays that way.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. Next question is, what do we do for money to live and travel in our motorhome?
I do nothing.
I mean, before COVID, I could say, I work full time for our money for travelling and stuff like that. Since COVID, I've not really had much work on at all, but it's been enough that it keeps us topped up. And obviously, complete open and honestness with honesty, yes, complete open and honesty with you guys. YouTube pays us for the adverts it shows, and if you guys do click any links, like we're talking about the pan and things like that, the links are our affiliate links for eBay and Amazon, and whilst you pay the exact same price as you would whether you use the links or not, they pay us a tiny commission, like 1 or 2%.
It's tiny commission
essentially for allowing us to direct you to their site. So it's like if they were to sort of like pay for an advert to pop up, like the adverts on YouTube for example, then they'll pay more for those adverts than they'd pay for us doing this, but we get a little bit. And we're quite fortunate that just about covers us to do what we're doing. So that's really how we pay for everything. You could almost say that it's through you guys watching our videos and buying the stuff that we link to.
So thank you very much.
And as we're thanking people for watching our videos, thank you for our members and our new members.
Thank you so much for joining.
I
absolutely love it when we see in the comments and you can see the little shield that you get when you remember, and absolutely love it, so thank you so much.
Now I've got 8 of you, so thank you. Next question is, do you have safe locations to stay at if there is another full lockdown? Simple answer to that one is we had an influx of offers of safe locations last time, of which one of them was Willow Fields.
And not the actual campsite itself, it was just the owners. So the
owners have got essentially a place to park their vehicles up, like a hard standing area or a gravel car park sort of thing. So that's where we spent a couple of weeks during lockdown, and obviously it's a place that we're welcome back to. We've spoken to them about with everything that's going on at the moment. We're like, what are we going to do? And they've said the same thing. They've said, listen, there's the car park and you're welcome to stay there. They've got a tap outside, somewhere to empty the toilet, and that's really all we need. So
Yeah, so thank you to Johnny and Gabby as well
Yes.
for being so wonderful, because they
Yes.
are like the loveliest people you'll ever meet.
Yes.
So that is good. But we've also had some more offers because people have
Yeah.
seen that things are going a little bit pear-shaped again.
Yeah.
So we've had a few offers, and I'm super excited about even just going to visit the alpaca farm. I mean,
Keeps
seriously.
nudging me.
Alpaca farm.
John, alpacas.
I know. And then John goes, oh, alpaca bag, because dad jokes. Yeah. So yeah, we've had some absolutely wonderful offers, and it does mean that we might need to take some people up on them.
Yeah.
It'd be wonderful to get to meet people in the process, distanced, of course.
Yes.
So
Well, obviously, we'll deal with that if we are forced to deal
yeah,
with
we'll
that.
literally just have to play it by ear, just like everybody else in the
Yeah.
entire country, to see what gets thrown at us next.
Yeah. And we thought we'd end this week's Q&A kind of like style video on a real high note, and this question is absolutely stunning. If one of you were to die suddenly, would the other one still live in the van?
It wasn't something we'd contemplated before then. I mean,
No.
you kind of go with the good things that happen.
We're quite positive outlook kind of people, really.
Yeah.
But seems though you've asked the question. If Mandy wasn't around anymore, it wouldn't be something where I would think, oh right, well I don't want to live in the van anymore. I think it would be the closest way to stay as if Mandy was with me. So no, I'd stay with the van.
Aww.
You're going to say something like that? Yeah, I'd sell the van and get on a cruise for a year.
No, I'd want to stay in the van. I would do. I mean, it'd be hard because I'd have to do all the things like empty the toilet and drive to places, because they wouldn't have you there, and
I'd have to
feed yourself. How would you do
feed
that?
myself.
You just follow Daz round.
Yeah, Daz and Uber Eats.
Yeah, Daz and Uber Eats would be fine. No, but I don't think it'd change. It would be different, and I'm not saying it would be easy, because it's so wonderful having. Because we get on so well, not all the time, but we get on so well that it's lovely to be doing this together. So it would be different, and I wouldn't like to pretend that it would be the same. But no, I think we would, because we've got such good friends that we've both met. In
and I don't think
being
that'd
in the van.
change.
And I think it would be easier to be in contact with them and to stay and do the same things being in the van than it would be. Otherwise, even with our pre-van friends, having the van is just more flexible to do things. I'd have to get a job.
Well, I mean, you could still live off YouTube income. There's just one of us.
Yeah, because I'd just have to eat pot noodles instead, and then figure out how to make YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As an addendum to this, someone did ask us in the past, so we'll cover this one now. If anything was to happen to Cooper and Cooper wasn't around, would we get another dog straight away? And I don't think I would. I think I would miss him, and I wouldn't want to confuse missing him with replacing him with another dog.
Yeah. Because life wouldn't be the same without him at all. But
I don't know if another dog, that would be something we'd have to think about at the time. And I know there's a lot of people who have dogs in a van. Most of them are single, who get a dog, that set themselves up with van life and then get a little puppy or something.
Yeah, a bit of company.
But I don't think the two of us and this van and raising a little puppy in it sounds like my idea of bliss, because I remember what Cooper was like and in a big house.
Coopy was a chewer.
Yeah.
Crikey.
So, yeah.
But who knows though? It's one of those things, we do.
Never say never.
We're asked a bit about the Coopy thing and about how long are we going to spend living in the van. And all we can say is that for now we love living in the van.
Yeah, it works for us.
Yeah, but we don't know what's going to change in the future, and hopefully we'll get a fair few years living in the van. And then, you don't know, we still might live in a van but also have a bolt hole somewhere or things. We don't know what's going to happen. So for now, we're going to enjoy every single minute that we can, government permitting.
Absolutely.
And think of all the bad things when we absolutely have to.
Yeah. And on a really lovely positive note, that's it for this week.
Yes.
So I hope you've all had a good week, and I hope the current strange situation we're all in, I hate that word actually. I've never used the word situation as much for the last blinking 6 months.
No, I've got a whole new vocabulary I never thought I'd have to use because of all of this situation.
I know. Anyway, hopefully your lives are as good as they can be right now.
Yes.
And you're staying positive.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
And thank you for your questions. And
yes.
please ask any more that you've got any answers. We'll answer them at the moment. As soon as you ask them, we'll answer them, but also include them in a future van chat.
Yeah, we always answer questions in the comments, or any comment really. Or
any comment will get a lovely reply.
Yeah. But obviously, sometimes we have little topics we want to talk about in the van chats. That's why we've not called it Q&A or anything, because sometimes it's just us having a chat about stuff that think's important.
Yeah.
So,
and it's thanks to you guys for bringing up these points for us as well that comes across. So I thank you everybody for your interaction and your input.
Do right.
And stay safe.
Yep. And we'll see you soon.
You will.
On Thursday.
On Thursday.
As long as I can get the video out on time. Sorry about this last week.
Yeah.
Epic fail.
Yeah, lots of driving.
I forgot about an 8-hour drive when I had to do a video. Oops, the daisies. Right then. We shall see you on Thursday.
We will. Bye.